Scorching Sands forces the final Protect Shield. The opponent now has no shields to hide behind, and we're running Boomburst. Boomburst has been buffed this season. It's now actually a Dragon Ascent clone. Think of Rayquaza, you know this thing's going to hit hard, and if you need some clarification just how hard, bang, there it is. Welcome back to the channel. Today we actually have some Boomburst content. Niantic lowered the energy requirement for this move. It's now actually a Dragon Ascent clone. Costs 70 energy for 150 damage. We're running it on Flygon, so you've also got to account we're going to get 20% attack bonus. You know that means some big booms are incoming. If that's not enough to whet your appetite, we're also going to be taking a look at the new Breaking Swipe Sceptile. Sceptile is such a glass cannon. It's got access to Leaf Blade, one of the best moves in the game. It's now got Breaking Swipe. These battles were submitted to the channel by my good friend, channel regular, the king of entertainment, Ty, whose in-game name I'm not going to comment on. However, I am going to comment on the last section of it, algorithm. The YouTube algorithm isn't treating me too kindly right now. YouTube's so competitive this season. So many quality content creators are uploading. I'm not getting all that many views. So if you're a fan of my content, I'd appreciate if you smash that like button to help me reach a wider audience. With that being said, without any further ado, let's get into the battles. An in-game one, we had Flygon into Wigglytuff. Absolutely dreadful. We save switched into Sceptile. We forced a protection with a Leaf Blade, landed a Leaf Blade, gaining ourselves shield advantage. Ty now sends out Cresselia, which is going to be the one bulky member of the team. Ty tanked the move, return fire with the Grass Knot, forcing both protect shields, and my god, when shields are down, you already know this Shadow Flugon running only nukes is going to go to town. We come into Flygon, get the Mud Shot farm down. The opponent now sends in Charizard, running Fire Spin. We really don't care what move it's running because Charizard's going to be straight in and straight out. The first Boomburst in the video vanquishes them back to their Pokeball. The opponent now sends out Trevenant, and unfortunately we can only hit this thing for resisted. However, Scorching Sands still does half of their HP. The opponent commits to the full Shadow Claw farm down. However, Cresselia comes in. We've still got one Protect Shield to hide behind. We shield up the Shadow Ball, we're at the Moonblast, and Moonblast is going to be all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. My god, am I looking forward to this shoutcast. Great lead, Flygon into Lantern. The opponent stays in, then look to catch a Scorching Sand onto Knockdown. No such luck. What they are going to catch is the Boomburst. Does the opponent respect the damage? They do not. Holy smokes, that does a lot of damage. Ty then sends out Cresselia to operate as the damage sponge. The opponent fires off the super effective Shadow Ball, and that is absolutely pathetic in comparison to our Boomburst. Ty then farms up, fires the Grass Knot even resisted, does return Knockdown to their Pokeball. The opponent sends back out Lantern. Lantern hits like a wet noodle. The opponent full send the Thunderbolt. Cresselia shrugs off the damage, returns fire with the Grass Knot gets Lantern down below half health. We send out Sceptile, and the opponent responds with Frostlass, a core breaker for the remainder of our team, as both Sceptile and Flygon are weak to ice. However, Sceptile, undeterred, it has a new party trick up its sleeve with the ability to lower Frostlass's attack with the Breaking Swipe. The opponent didn't shield the first, but Sceptile, so spammy, fires off Breaking Swipe number 2, forcing the first Protect Shield. Look at Sceptile go, we're so glassy. But as we've lowered the opponent's attack, we're able to withstand the Powder Snows. We farm up to the back-to-back charge moves. The first Leaf Blade forces the final protection, and the second one secures the knockout. We then see the pivot into Flygon. Ty not even going to respect this serve. Lantern, you hit like an absolute wet noodle. Ty then over farms, fires off the BM Boomburst, and it's going to be Spice 1, basic bitch meta nil. GG's, and thanks for playing. Running Breaking Swipe on Sceptile there, coming in absolutely clutch. As usually, we would get Powder Snow farmed all the way down. Moving on to the next battle, dreadful lead. Trevenant easily beats all three of our Pokemon. We shield up the Seed Bomb, return fire with the Scorching Sands. We've already seen this does a lot of damage. Even though it's resisted, the opponent does commit their own Protect Shield. We then make a savage catch of the Seed Bomb onto Sceptile. Although that was a very nice catch, Sceptile does not have a good matchup here. Trevenant hitting us for neutral with the Shadow Claws, whereas our Bullet Seeds are resisted. The opponent fires off yet another Seed Bomb. Sceptile stands strong, then throws one Bullet Seed for optimal fast move timing, and the Breaking Swipe, not enough to knock out. Sceptile forced to dump the remainder of its energy, but at least we're going to get rid of this Trevenant. The opponent sending Quillfish, they get the Poison Sting farm down. Ty can send back out Flygon. We go straight for the Scorching Sands. Scorching Sands forces the final Protect Shield. Due to Flygon's ground typing. We do resist the poison stings. However, the opponent's going to be so spammy to the Aqua Tails. We shield the first, outpace the Scorching Sands. Number 2, Scorching Sand vanquishes Quillfish back to their Pokeball. The opponent's final Pokemon is a Confusion Celebi. My god, the early ranks are absolute Wild West. Ty sends out Cresselia. We go for the Moonblast. Celebi actually tanked that fairly well. However, let's not kid ourselves. Cresselia, also a wet noodle, with a pretty pathetic attack stat. However, what Cresselia lacks in attack, it makes up for in defense. We easily tank the Dazzling Gleam, make Moonblast number 2, and secure the dub. Moving on to the next one. Flygon into Scrafty. Flygon so glassy, their counters are going to tear through us. Ty farms up, goes straight for the Scorching Sands. Scorching Sands goes unshielded, and yikes, that does a lot of damage. We get the attack drop, and then we see the pivot into Cresselia. With a lowered attack, Cresselia is actually going to be able to withstand 2 foul plays. The opponent fires off the first foul play, Cresselia at the Grass Knot. If the opponent wants to get off the next foul play, they're going to be forced to invest the protection, and that's exactly what we see them do. Cresselia still doesn't need to shield. The second foul play gets us low, however Scrafty going to be unable to counter farm down the big bad bulky Cresselia. We make Grass Knot number 2, and that does take care of Scrafty. The opponent now sending Galarian Weezing. They probably didn't want to send in Weezing, fearful that we could have Future Sight. We don't have it, but the opponent choose to dump Sludge, not wanting to risk it for a biscuit. We then send in Flygon. We see the instant shield deployed, or what is most likely a Sludge. However, Flygon has shield advantage, and Ty happy to invest the Protect Shield there. Flygon then overfarms, fires off the Scorching Sands. Scorching Sands forces the final Protect Shield. The opponent looked for the Fairywind farm down. Flygon says no, fires off Scorching Sands. Number 2, securing the knockout. We then send out Sceptile, and no, the opponent's got a Alolan Marowak in the back. I think this is going to be a loss. The Fire Spin's just going to obliterate the squishy Sceptile. We're going to continually lower Marowak's attack with the break-in swipe. However, we're probably going to get farmed down. The opponent gives us a wink on. They throw the Bone Club. The opponent then go for yet another Bone Club. If Sceptile actually survives this, somehow we're going to be at the next break-in swipe. No, Mr. Opponent, you needed to go for the farm down. They did not. Ty punishes them with the next break-in swipe, and we somehow win that game. Flygon into Swampert. The opponent doesn't fancy that matchup. Then send out the bulky owl. Ty going straight for the Boomburst. Does another Knockdown get boomed out of the sky? Yes, they do. Boomburst rocks Knockdown deep into the red, and again we see the pivot into Cresselia. Knockdown fires off the Shadow Ball. Cresselia withstands the damage. Gonna return fire with the Grass Knot. That Boomburst did so much damage that the resisted Grass Knot would be lethal. The opponent choose to shield the owl. Ty gonna match shields. We correctly shield up the Shadow Ball. Cresselia gonna be able to outpace the Grass Knot. Number 2. Surely the opponent doesn't double shield the owl. The opponent does not. We do retain alignment. As Ty has switched, he can actually align Sceptile with this Swampert. The opponent send back out Swampert, but then look to catch a Grass Knot onto Metachan. Ty, far too smart, holds his energy, fires off the Moonblast, forcing the Protect Shield, then stay in school, kids. Learn to count. Ty gonna show the opponent how to make a catch. Ice Punch, one-shots Flygon, holy crap. Flygon's gone from booming Knockdown to being used as a third shield. We then send back out Cresselia, land the Moonblast, rocking Metachan deep into the red. Cresselia has done its job. Ty elects to let it go down, saving a shield for his Sceptile. We send in Sceptile. The opponent again make a catch. This time they are successful, but Leaf Blade gonna vanquish Swampert back to their Pokeball. Back out comes Metachan. We still have one Protect Shield, too high behind the opponent, looking to farm up to back-to-back moves, but Sceptile far too quick, and Break-in Swipe secures the dub. In the next battle, we see yet another Metachan. You hate to see it. Metachan now ranked number 1 on PV Poke, and it's going to be on pretty much 95% of teams once people hit rank 20. Ty fires off the Scorching Sand, forcing a protection, who's just going to completely sack Flygon. The double super effective Ice Punch takes us out. Ty then sends in Cresselia. Metachan opting to stay in. This is most likely a Psychic, which it is, but Cresselia really doesn't care. Ty then overfarms, fires off the Moonblast. Moonblast won't be lethal because Metachan is ridiculously thick. However, we do get the attack drop if the opponent continue to stay in. Ty is going to get a huge Psycho Cut farm down. Ice Punch does absolutely nothing. The opponent does stay and give us the full Psycho Cut farm down. They must have a hard response for Cresselia, or at least you'd think. Evidently they do not, and they concede the match. Moving on to the next one. Great lead, Flygon into the silly electric fish. The opponent attempt to catch a Dragon Claw onto Galarian Stunfisk. However, Mr. Opponent, we only have nukes, and we most certainly do not shield baits in this household. The opponent doesn't even farm up to an Earthquake. Flygon easily tanks the Rock Slide, returns fire with the Scorching Sands. Scorching Sand forces a Protect Shield, and Flygon says there's plenty more of where that comes from, firing off Scorching Sand number 2. Galarian Stunfisk also now has a lowered attack tie, chooses to shield the Rock Slide. We're going to be able to outpace to the third Scorching Sand, and it's going to be high Bear Trap by Bear Trap. Get absolutely wrecked. Flygon out here going on an absolute rampage. The opponent sends out Knockdown. We bank the Scorching Sands, then we see the pivot into Cresselia. Not the best matchup for Cresselia, but as we're so bulky, we don't really care about a non-stab Shadow Ball. Cresselia withstands the damage, returns fire with the Moonblast, gets Knockdown down below half health, and again we see an attack drop. The RNG god smiling on Ty today. As we got the attack drop, we're able to withstand the second Shadow Ball, make the Grass Knot. Grass Knot is resisted, but is going to be enough to secure the knockout. Back out comes Lantern. They spark us down. We've got the Scorching Sands locked and loaded. Lantern's pretty thick, but they get absolutely wrecked, and that's going to be all she wrote. In the next battle, we see yet another Lantern. Niantic was supposed to nerf this Pokemon with the Spark rebalance, but if anything, they made this silly electric fish even better, so it's going to be here, there, and every fucking where. Ty lands the Scorching Sands, which near one-shots Lantern. Ty chooses to respect what I imagine would be a Surf. The opponent actually threw a Thunderbolt, which is resisted. I don't really know what to say. Ty farms up to the Boomburst, fires off the Scorching Sands. The opponent actually doesn't shield. We could have one-shot Charizard. However, it is what it is. We pivot out into Cresselia to absorb the damage. The opponent bait us with a Dragon Claw. Dragon Claw doesn't do too much. Ty then fires off the Grass Knot. Grass Knot, even resisted, nearly knocks out. We do get the Psycho Cut farm down. That opponent was actually running Air Slash. So if you're going to run Charizard, I'd recommend Wing Attack. If you don't want to run Wing Attack, both Dragon Breath and Fire Spin are objectively better than that. I'd even say Ember. So just don't run Air Slash. It's probably Charizard's 5th best quick move. However, as people have come to expect on my channel, I've gone off on a mad tangent, got distracted, so getting back into the commentary. The opponent's final Pokemon is Dubwall. They full send the payback, one-shot in Cresselia. Ty, playing with his food, makes a savage catch of a Body Slam onto Sceptile. Sceptile withstands the damage. We then return fire with the Leaf Blade. Leaf Blade going to be putting massive shield pressure on this Dubwall. Dubwall does invest a final Protect Shield. The opponent then gets super greedy, playing to a CMP Ty that they do not win. Shout out Home Slice Henry for that quote. Ty then undercharges the Breaking Swipe, lets his Sceptile go down, opting to bring back in Flygon, show the opponent the Boomburst, and that's going to be all she wrote. GG's and thanks for playing. I can't quite believe it, but there's yet another Celebi on my screen. I don't think I've ever shoutcast any battles and seen 2 Celebis in the same video. Ty pivots into Sceptile, fires off the Breaking Swipe, forcing a Protect Shield and lowering Celebi's attack. The opponent then make a very nice catch, catching Breaking Swipe number 2 onto Raichu, but Raichu definitely does not appreciate Sceptile's damage output. The opponent opts to fire off a charge move, not wanting to get hit with the next Breaking Swipe. Ty can now send in Flygon. Flygon going to get a huge Mudshot farm down. Ty doesn't respect the move. It's only another Thunder Punch. Raichu has access to Brick Break as well, but let's not kid ourselves. What a shit move. Back out comes Celebi. Ty fires off the Scorching Sands, forcing the final Protect Shield. The opponent now has no Protect Shields to hide behind, and Flygon is about to have some fun. We shield the Dazzling Gleam, which would have done enough damage to actually delete Flygon from Ty's game. So a great shield there. We full send the Boomburst, vanquishing Celebi back to their Pokeball. The opponent's final Pokemon is a Seeking running Waterfall. If you are a Spice Lord and you want to run Seeking, you need to invest 3 Elite TMs to get the best out of it. An Elite Fast TM for Poison Jab and 2 Elite Charge TMs for Icy Wind and Drill Run respectively. If you want to see some footage of a triple legacy Seeking, head over to my friend Nerds Rising's channel, and he has some quality content from some limited metas. Ty, playing with his food here, finally takes out the poor defenseless Seeking, and we're going to move swiftly on. Great lead, the opponent farm up to energy with their K9, pivot out into Altaria. Does the opponent know about the Boomburst? Because if they don't know, they're about to find out. Boomburst goes unshielded, near one shot in Altaria. We then see the pivot into Cresselia. Cresselia goes straight for a Grass Knot. Grass Knot is massively resisted, but Altaria absolutely bamboozled, choose to invest the Protect Shield. Altaria can quite literally throw whatever they like, as Cresselia really doesn't care. The opponent fires off the Moonblast. We withstand the damage, get the Psycho Cut farm down. What the heck is that? Water Dark using Bobble. Is that a Bobble Greninja? Yes, it is. So definitely don't use Bobble. Both Bobble and Water Shrieking are both 3-turn moves. Bobble generates 3.66 EPT, whereas Water Shrieking is 4.66, so it's just a million times better. However, this opponent probably didn't play the comp deck. They are running Aerial Ace. Aerial Ace secures the knockout. We send out Sceptile, look for the farm down. The opponent pivot out into Kanon, and here comes Flygon. Flygon has 2 Protect Shields, 2 high behind. We're going to see Ty invest both of them on the Weather Balls. I've shoutcast Ty so many times. Although Scorching Sand is going to be super effective, I have zero doubt in my mind that it would be throwing the Boomburst. Boomburst going to be securing the knockout. Back out comes Greninja. The opponent can't get the bubble farm down, and we manage to take that game. So let's talk about today's battle submission. I'll be honest, I think Boomburst on Flygon is actually quite legit, as nobody expects Boomburst, and my god does it do a shit ton of damage. Having access to Scorching Sand is also pretty nice for Flygon as well. I'm one of them idiots that's invested an Elite TM on Earth Power on my Flygon, and I'm quite sad that Scorching Sand is just objectively better now. I think Break and Swipe Sceptile is quite interesting. It already had access to Dragon Claw, so if you want to get some Dragon type damage, Break and Swipe is objectively better. It costs the same energy, however has the ability to lower the opponent's attack. We actually saw 2 really nice examples in the video where Break and Swipe came in clutch against Alolan Marowak and Froslass. The ability to lower the opponent's attack, guaranteed, enabled us to withstand enough fast move damage to make a further charge move. I've actually got another battle submission from Ty, which I will be showcasing later in the week, showcasing the new Volt Switch Shadow Magneton, and let me tell you, that thing is going to pop off. So if you're enjoying the content, smash that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing. If you'd like your battles featured on my channel, a link to my battle submission form is down below. I've actually got 10 days off work, so I'm going to look to get out quite a lot of content. It's a great opportunity to get some battle shoutcasts if that's your thing. And as always, a huge thank you to everyone for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.